Have you ever seen a game's trailer that interested you so much to the point that you signed up for the beta multiple times? Okay. Have you seen a game shut down for a few years and then come back as a mobile game inspired fighter? Yeah, that's what happened here with Multiversus. Multiversus is a Smash-like game that was in beta from July 2022 and left us June 2023. Their early start was promising, with fun, unique gameplay and a great cast of characters. But with heavy grinding came a dwindling player base. I'll be speaking on my experience as a former top 50 Garnet and a top 200 Harley player in this review. I'll be going through each section, making comparisons from the beta to the current state of the game. Before we dive in, let me introduce myself. My name is False Savior. I'm a streamer on Twitch who primarily plays fighting games and good planes. You can join my Discord for streams I'll be doing throughout the week. The link will be in the description. First, let's dive into the controls. If you've played Smash, or more in particular Brawlhalla, you'll easily pick up on the controls. I'll be using a PS5 controller for this, so apply them accordingly. You move around with the left analog and jump with X. Your regular attacks are applied to square, and each direction, along with the square input, gives you a different attack. This also works the same way with special attacks, but those will be under your triangle button. Your dodge input is bound to R2 or circle, and you taunt with the D-pad. As of June 7th, they released a patch that reduced the hit pause by 10%, and it improved the 1v1s quite a bit. In plain English, it increased how often you can attack and move around. Along with this update, they recently did a patch on the 2nd of July that allows you to customize the input buffer to your liking. This made the game feel so much better, and almost close to how it was in the beta. At lower buffers, it requires precise timing for certain inputs, but it allows you to do more technical movements and tactics when playing. The only problem I have with the current state of the controls of the game is the dodging. If I had a penny every time I saw an attack and pressed dodge but still got hit, I'd have a full dollar by now. I've died many times to combos just landing on me even though I'm pressing dodge and it just not dodge. On the other hand, I've also seen attacks that get dodged but the opponent ends up still getting hit because they dodged too early within the attack. There are more advanced tech that will come to you as you play. The movement is as swift, although not as swift and zippy as it was in the beta, but is still just as good for newcomers today. Next, we'll be talking about my favorite part, the graphics. For the official release of the game, they remade all of it in Unreal Engine 4. The models look sleek and higher quality compared to the beta. They also made some of the characters different sizes now. Garnet towers over some characters, which is really nice. The stages look great, even though there are some really annoying ones that were created and added. Yes, I'm staring at you, Dexter's Lab. One big thing that I don't like is how many menus there are. The beta had gone from the pop-up style menu, where you'd pretty much stay on the main menu, then switch between tabs. Now you have the main menu and tabs along the top for fighters, battle pass, events, missions, the store, and then your career. Within the main menu, you can see your character and choose between rifts, change character shortcut, change costume shortcut, then the good old ready up button. Let's say you want to change your character. You'd have to either go to the fighter tab manually or use the shortcut button. Choose your character, choose your variant if you have any, then lock in the character. Before, you would just pick the game mode you'd want to queue up for, then select your character, and done. The current version is clunky and a lot to navigate. I'm hoping for a slight fusion of the two later down the line, but for right now, it's too much. I'll only touch a bit on rifts as we'll dive into it later, but right off the bat, the game drops you off into them, which is this game's story mode. From there, you go along this all-star game mode from Brawl, if you guys remember that. I might be showing my age here, but it's pretty similar. Anyway, you walk along a path and complete missions along with minigames, and the menus are cluttered. I often misclick off changing the gems and lose my cursor when traveling within it. I'll be looking forward to seeing a total redesign of most of the UI within this game, and given the state of it right now, it'll definitely live long enough to see a UI overhaul. Next, let's talk about the audio. This will probably be the shortest section of the review. I don't recall the music from the beta too much, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. The current version of the music selection is giving iconic, but not rememberable. It's nice and easy to listen to, but man is it a snore compared to other games. I often find myself looking for more music from other fighting games, rather than listening to the music that's already there. The menus thankfully don't have too many sounds outside of the ready button and the tab switching. The voices still feel as lovely as ever, with each character being played by their original actors and actresses. Now we'll be talking about the online experience. My online experience has been nothing but perfect. Now, on release, the game had this desync error that happened rarely, for me at least. I've heard stories of how people couldn't even get past the login screen, or desyncs happening every game. Now we're cruising through matches. Even while I stream, there's no issues, no lag, or anything. From a player versus player standpoint, I run into a lot of BM. Salt, emotes, teabagging, you know, the usual for a fighting game. I'm the one to do it myself. In fact, I encourage respectful gameplay, even when off stream. Seeing all the teabagging is kind of sad, but it doesn't reflect the game for me in any way. Children will be children. The game modes offered are 1s, 2s, and with the July update, they added free-for-alls back into open queue. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of the current state of it. They changed the free-for-all rule set from time and point-based to first to 4 kills wins. This heavily encourages kill stealing along with hit and run tactics from certain characters. Although it's clearly labeled under construction on the queue screen, I do wish it wasn't a test and just released as it was during the beta. Outside of PvP, you're able to play with friends during rifts. You can actually work together and tackle the quite challenging story mode of this game. Speaking of rifts, let's talk about it now. I am not a fan of rifts. I'll come right out and say it. I don't enjoy the minigames, I am not a fan of the missions, all requiring a friend to get one of the stars to fully complete them. I really don't like some of the missions requiring a certain variant of a character when you don't own them. Lastly, I don't like the gem XP being limited to either dailies or star gain while completing rifts. Gems are the perks you get instead of actual perks from the PvP modes. You get to mix and match them per color and build how you'd like your character to work. Now, these don't work with the regular abilities from PvP, so your character doesn't have anything special. You get them all by doing the dailies, or completing missions which will give you an Acme box. If you have gems, it'll give you XP. If you don't, yay, new gem. But here's the kicker. Upon receiving XP for the gems, it'll be randomly applied to whichever gem is within the box, not the gems you're currently using. On top of that, higher difficulties of rifts require higher level gems as an entry point. I don't have the exact math on XP per level up, but what I do know is that I've cleared all of the difficulties and I still don't have enough XP to play Insanity mode for 2 of the gems, much less Loony difficulty. Thankfully, there's no time limit to these rifts, but as of now, it feels tedious to play through. Within these difficulties, you're dealing with the usual somewhat input reading AI. I haven't fought anything above Insanity mode, but that difficulty alone is a problem to get through. I've tried playing somewhat normally with Garnet, and with the amount of hits she does, it doesn't even do enough to get the enemy high enough to kill him. But on their end, they'll hit you twice, and you'll end up 50% or higher if your gems aren't strong enough. In my opinion, this is artificial difficulty. I'd rather the enemy play better and more optimal than to be bullet sponges who have 200% knockback. We're nearing the end of Season 1, and I'm going to make a guess as to what's going to happen to the current season's rifts and their gems. Either A, the rifts will be here and the gems will only be used in Season 1 rifts, or B, they remove the rifts and our current gem levels for the new season. I'm hoping that we keep the rifts and our gem levels for future seasons. It should make new gems more appealing and better to encourage us to experiment more and not rely on old strats. Now to dive into the monetization. As a free-to-play game, they obviously need to have some way to keep it afloat, right? Well, they have a battle pass, which is a given in this current gaming climate, sadly. They also have a shop where you can buy cosmetics, gem XP, or to get more Gleamium, their premium currency. Along with those, there's 2 currencies you get just for playing, fighter currency and perk currency, both of which are unlocked by leveling up characters. Now, for those curious how good or bad this monetization is, here are the exact numbers we're looking at here for certain things. Going based off how much Gleamium the Battle Pass gives, it'll be 1,000 Gleamium, which is a typical $10. Announcer voices are either 100 or 90 Gleamium if it's on sale. Taunts are a range between 200 for an uncommon and 500 for an epic, Skins, however, are way more. The range we have is a clean 800 for a rare to a fat 2,000 for a legendary. To talk about the fat old elephant in the room, unlocking characters. To my knowledge, Shaggy is the only character you start off with, and then it's the rotating cast of 4 characters that change weekly. Aside from the fact that 80% of the roster is locked, the problem with this is that there are missions that require either a certain class or specific characters to complete. With the release of the game, the Joker was released, and I've seen posts of people getting hit opponent with Joker's bazooka as a mission for the battle pass 5 times when they don't own the character. Before the semi-recent update, the only way to gain battle pass XP was to complete dailies and weeklies. Thankfully, they changed it to gain XP per game along with stars gained from missions and rifts. To obtain Joker, he costs 6,000 fighter tokens, and to my knowledge, the only way to get those tokens is to level up characters, your account level, and from toasts. The math was done, and take this with a grain of salt because I'm not doing the math myself, it takes 38 to 77 hours of grinding to unlock characters. The range being the amount of currency needed, 38 to unlock a 3,000 priced character, and the higher end for the Joker. On the flip side of that, you could also go the route that they probably do want you to do, which is using your credit card powers. And to my knowledge, because I haven't had to buy a character, they cost 1,000 Gleamium per, so there's that too. For those who might be saying, oh, it's a free-to-play game, imagine complaining about playing the game. The problem isn't the fact that we have to play the game, the problem is the amount of time required in order to unlock the characters. Gaming shouldn't be a chore, and a lot of people are settling down with the fact that it's becoming one. You shouldn't be fighting for a reasonable amount of time required in order to enjoy a game. If you want to devote hundreds of hours weekly to unlock characters, so be it, but it shouldn't be the expectation. The game in its current state is riddled with many currencies, all of which either cost too much time to grind for, or put a fat hole in your pocket. I'm hoping for a plethora of events that give out plenty of currency for all kinds of rewards, and help them unlock what they want in order to make it worth players' time. But as of now, it follows the typical mobile game style of play. Pay to play, or grind your life away. All in all, Multiversus is a beautiful game with lots of promise within it. We just have to see how PFG maintains it. The gameplay loop is fun and easy to get lost in for hours. The concept behind Rifts is very obviously inspired by Smash, but gets dragged by mobile game twists. The colorful roster locked behind hundreds of hours of gameplay, or with a simple swipe of a card, makes it fall into the free-to-play hellscape that the current gaming industry is in. I, with my deepest regret, have to say that this game is hot ass. There is so much life that this game has, and I fully believe they can do it. PFG, if you're watching this, you have a great game, but is being plagued by the free-to-play curse. Reward the players for their time. Give more ways for players to reduce their grind. Make events and rifts more fun without the mobile game type missions. Do not be afraid to release original characters. I'm not sure if it's easier to make a licensed character or to make an original one, but I'm all for this game and I want to see what makes Multiversus stand out from the rest. I held off a long time making this review because I wanted to see where it would go with time, and currently I'm happy with it. I started writing this script when it was first released, and boy did I have a lot to complain about. It's slowly making its way back to being an amazing platform fighter. Just keep up the good work, PFG. I believe in you. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It'll help me know you guys enjoy these types of reviews. Leave a comment if you disagree with anything, or if you'd like me to review a specific game. Once again, I'm False Savior, and thank you for watching.